What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. At the time of this video, it's been almost a year since the introduction of exotic class items. These have greatly expanded on the build crafting possibilities whenever using prismatic subclasses. And since their release, we've seen a lot of adjustments to both the functionality of these class items and the overall PvE sandbox. So with that in mind, I thought it would be a good idea to cover some of the best combinations that you should be looking out for whenever farming exotic class items. And we'll be checking out the best combination with each class. Before we dive into things, if you do end up enjoying the video, then be sure to hit that like and subscribe button below. Both are greatly appreciated and both really help the channel grow. With that said, let's get into it. We start with Titans, where we have 3 different standout combinations of exotic perks. Our first combination is great for the solo-minded Titan. The Spirit of Synthesis gives us an astonishing increase in powered melee damage of 165%, which will make it super easy to flatten even some of the biggest enemies. This also increases the damage of glaives by 100%, which goes really well with the No Bell and Hold the Line artifact mods, and all we need to do to activate that bonus is to be surrounded by at least 3 enemies. And with the Spirit of Assassin, we'll instantly go invisible after performing a finisher, or after defeating an enemy with our powered melee. This combination goes great with Consecration, as it allows you to annihilate big beefy targets, and then instantly disengage from any surrounding enemy. Pick a new target and re-engage. Even with the recent nerf to Consecration, this continues to be one of the most reliable and most dominating options for any Titan. Our next combination of perks is more oriented around ability spamming. Whenever we use a powered melee, a grenade, or activate our class ability, the Spirit of Inmost will provide an increase to the regen of the other 2 abilities, allowing you to cycle through all of your abilities at a much faster rate. This starts at a 400% increase for grenade and melee abilities, and a 25% increase in class ability energy, but that'll go up to 800% and 50% whenever it's at 2 stacks. And with the Spirit of Armentarium, we'll gain a second grenade charge, which will improve on our ability to continuously spam all of our abilities. There's a lot of ways that we can play into these exotic perks, but with so much current focus surrounding bolt charges, as well as strand and arc abilities, you'll have much more success using those affinities. The final combination that we'll look at for Titans is the Spirit of Eternal Warrior, alongside the Spirit of Star Eaters. Whereas the other 2 combinations were more ability-centric, this one is more focused around increasing our overall damage output. The Spirit of Star Eaters will provide our super with as much as a 70% increase in damage, but that bonus will be reduced down to 50% whenever using Thunder Crash, which puts it at just 5% less than the Cuirass of the Fallen Star. The Twilight Arsenal super will only gain a 25% increase with this, which leaves Hammer of Soul, Glacial Quake, and Blade Fury receiving the maximum benefit. But to achieve that, we need to create Orbs of Power so that we can charge our super and build up our Feast of Light. And that's where the Eternal Warrior comes in. After casting our super, we will gain a ×4 weapon surge to any weapon that has a matching energy type. This will provide those weapons with a 25% bonus in damage, which will make it super easy to mow down enemies. And by using Harmonic Siphon mods and weapons with attrition orbs, we'll be able to create a ton of Orbs of Power. This buff will last for 30 seconds, and it would override weapon surge mods, which does mean that we would be free to focus our armor mods towards abilities and survival. As we've mentioned with previous builds, the addition of some of our new artifact mods, like Dielectric, to Shreds, and Flashover, will make Strand, Void, and Arc energies the best options to work around right now. And with that, we shift our focus over towards Warlocks, where we have 3 incredible class item combinations. The first that we'll address is the Spirit of Apotheosis and the Spirit of Star Eaters. This combination is all about dishing out maximum damage. Star Eaters gives us that 70% bonus in super damage, but whenever using Nova Bomb, that does get reduced down to 50%, and this will not increase solar effect damage created by Song of Flame, but Tickle Fingers, Winter's Wrath, and Needle Storm will all receive the full 70% increase. And with our current artifact focusing heavily around strand energies, a strand super is going to be a great option, especially whenever using artifact mods like Horde Shuttle, Vile Weave, to Shreds, and Limit Break. After we cast our super, the Spirit of Apotheosis will give us an 8-second window to where we can toss out a ton of grenades and melee charges. We'll gain 66% bonus energy every second during that 8-second window, which could see us launching out between 4 and 5 extra grenades and melees. So if we time it out right, we could deal out a ton of damage with our super, follow up with a barrage of grenades and melees, and then cast our Transcendence to get even more abilities to spam. Our next combination of class item perks will make you feel as tanky as a Titan. The Spirit of Necrotic provides us with a means of triggering poison. This will be applied whenever striking enemies with powered and unpowered melees, and this will work with any of the prismatic melee options. I really enjoy pairing this with Lightning Surge, but at certain levels of in-game content, Lightning Surge can leave you vulnerable, which is why you might want to consider a Snap or the Arcane Needle. This version of the Necrotic is not as effective as the original exotic, since the damage over time does not scale in terms of damage, but even still this can be an effective tool whenever taking on large groups of enemies and single high value targets, especially when we have the Spirit of Syntheseps increasing the damage of our melees, and that will help Lightning Surge be a much more reliable option. Since we have artifact mods like Hold the Line and Nobel, which provide several benefits when using glaives, we could take advantage of the Syntheseps bonus to glaive damage. The final combination of exotic item perks that you should be looking for right now is the Spirit of Inmost Light and Spirit of Verity. We've talked about the benefits of Inmost already, so we already know that that's going to improve our ability regeneration. The Spirit of Verity will play off of our increased ability production, providing us with even more grenade energy, but most importantly, it provides us with an increase in grenade damage. As we defeat enemies with weapons that match our grenade type, we will build up stacks of death throws, and this performs a lot like the Worm God Caress. This starts by giving us a 40% bonus in grenade damage, but when we're at maximum stacks of death throws, that's going to give us a 100% bonus in damage. And as long as we have death throws active, we'll gain extra grenade energy, giving us as much as 2.5% extra energy every second. To finish things off, we transition over to Hunters, and our first combination of perks includes the Spirit of Gerfalcon alongside the Spirit of Foe Tracer. This is a powerful combination that will give you a ton of extra weapon damage, which will go great with weapons like Luminarch and Graviton Lance. The Spirit of Gerfalcon will give our void weapons volatile rounds after we come out of invisibility. Stylish Executioner provides us with an easy option of going invisible, which will make crowd control situations a lot easier, and it's even going to help against barrier champs since volatile rounds will pierce their shields. And whenever we use our void abilities on a high value target, we'll instantly gain a 25% bonus in weapon damage. So the more champions, elites, and mini bosses, the better. And since the Foe Tracers will work with any damage type, we'll be able to integrate strand and stasis weapons into this and still get the benefits. Our next combination is completely focused around our super. With this mashup of exotics, we'll be able to charge our super faster and give them a massive increase in damage. We have the Spirit of Galanor, which is going to return super energy back to us. As we strike enemies and defeat them with our super, we'll gain up to 50% bonus super energy, which works out really well with Storm's Edge, Golden Gun, and Silk Strike. Whenever using Silk Strike or Golden Gun, the maximum amount of energy that you'll be able to get back will be 30%. And by using helmet mods like Ashes to Assets or Hands On, we'll be able to generate even more super energy. And then we have the Spirit of Star Eaters, which gives us that sweet 70% bonus in super damage. And if we add that into the Limit Break artifact mod, which gives us a 30% bonus, we're looking at some incredible levels of damage that we'll be able to dish out. And because of the Spirit of Galanor, we're going to be able to do it much more often. Our final combination of perks is much more oriented around survival, but that survival relies on swift crowd control. With the Spirit of Surturagni, we'll gain Woven Mail every time we use our grenade ability. Woven Mail provides a 45% bonus in damage resistance, and that's something that we'll be able to continuously activate, especially whenever using the To Shreds artifact mod. By adding in effects like Amplified and Faceted Protection, along with all the incredible benefits that Transcendence will provide, we're going to become quite the indestructible force, especially when we have Spirit of Inmost as our secondary perk, which is going to crank our ability production through the roof. And if we needed to take our survival a step further, we could always equip Stylish Executioner. The caveat to this build is that you have to play much more aggressive, and you have to be mindful of all of your abilities, including your Transcendence. But that is just one of 3 incredible combinations that Hunters have the advantage of using right now, which wraps up our video on some of the best exotic class item combinations that you should be using here in Heresy. I will be leaving Dim and Mobalytics links to these builds down in the description below, but I'd love to hear your thoughts about these builds and what your favorite combination of class item perks are. Let us know down in the comments below. Thank you as always for checking out the video, If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then be sure to hit that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated, and both really do help support the channel. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.